Zebra might need admin rights as well.
Okay. I'm unable to record, but we can.
Okay. All right. Welcome everybody again to our weekly Thursday night interfaith meeting, and good to see so many of you, including visitors from around the world, participants, I should say. And a little later on, I'll introduce our speaker, which is Ms. Solan Beverly Yin-Lo, who will talk about resilience and change. So while the meeting's in progress, it's good, I see everyone has their names next to their faces. And the idea is that we come here to learn. We're not here to correct anyone or try and solve any theological problems, or to say that our belief is better and other people would be better off to have our belief. We're here to learn, and there's not many forums in the world where this occurs. So I'm very grateful to be a part of this one, which has been running for more than 4 years. And this particular passage from which Baha'is are often referred to, because we try to build unity in ourselves and our communities, whether through deeds or words, the merit of your every contribution to social well-being lies first in your resolute commitment to discover that precious point of unity, where contrasting perspectives overlap, and around which contending peoples can coalesce. So to begin with, I'd just like to acknowledge the original owners and caretakers of this land, which those of us who live in Australia, the Indigenous people of Australia, in particular, where Jung and I live, the Gadigal and Bidjigal people. And in a forum like this, where we're looking for unity and looking for spirit, we can do no worse than to think about and listen to and teach ourselves about the original inhabitants of Australia, who to be able to survive for 60,000 years and keep the land in such beautiful condition, they must have been living in harmony with the land, and they must have had a society where they had structure, the things which create happiness. We think we've got to get the money first, then we can get the happiness. But I think with the spiritual life, they must have found a way to get there a bit faster than we are. So thank you for that. Now I'll ask Siva to start the devotional program. We'll have music and then we'll go into the readers. Thank you.
Oppressors on earth, withdraw your hands from tyranny, for I have pledged myself not to forgive any man's injustice. This is my covenant, which I have irrevocably decreed in the preserved tablet, and sealed it with my seal of glory. This is my covenant, which I have irrevocably decreed in the preserved tablet, and sealed it with my seal of glory, of glory, of glory, of glory, of glory. This is my covenant.
At present, the light of reconciliation is dimmed in most countries, and its radiance extinguished, while the fire of strife and disorder had been kindled and is blazing fiercely. Two great powers who regard themselves as the founders and leaders of civilization and the framers of constitutions have arisen up against the followers of the faith associated with whom converse with God. Be ye warned, O men of understanding, it ill beseemeth the station of man to commit tyranny. Rather, it behoveth him to observe equity and be attired with the remnant of justice under all conditions. Beseech ye the one true God, that he may, through the power of the hand of loving kindness and spiritual education, purge and purify certain souls, defilement of evil passions and corrupt desires, that they may arise to unloose their tongues for the sake of God, that perchance the evidence of injustice may be blotted out, and the splendor of the light may shed its radiance upon the whole world. Baha'i Scriptures.
Is this mine actually, Colin?
Yes, that's yours, yeah.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, the kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and glory forever. Amen.
Let us behave with others as we would with ourselves. Let us look upon all living beings as our good friends, for in all of them there resides one soul. All are but part of that universal soul. A person who believes that all are his soulmates and loves them all alike never feels lonely. The divine qualities of forgiveness, compassion, and service will make him lovable in the eyes of all. He will experience intense joy throughout his life.
May the wise Lord, reaching at his will, grant to each of us that which he desire. I desire strength and endure to uphold reward. The life of God, the life of good mind, and may his servant good be ours, according as one desire please may one receive, please, through thy most fasting spirits. O Lord, the wonder of the good mind which thou wilt give as our righteousness, with the joy of a long life all the days. Zoroastrian scripture.
In safety and in bliss, may the creatures of all be of a peaceful heart. Whatever living things there are, whether weak or strong, with none excepted, great or small, seen or unseen, dwelling far or near, born or awaiting birth, may all be blessed with peace. Let no one work another one's undoing or show contempt in any place. Let no one wish another harm through provocation or resentful thought. Just as a mother with her life protects her child, her only child, let all the embarrassing thoughts of all that lives be yours. And all embracing love for all the universe in all its height and depth and breadth. Buddhist scripture.
And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grapes of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and for the stranger. I am the Lord of your God. You shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither neither lie to one another, and you shall not swear by my name falsely. Neither shall thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee. With thee all night until the morning. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a slumbering block before the blind. Thou shalt fear God, and I am the Lord. Ye shall not do the unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of poor, and favor the person of the mighty. But in the righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. Thou shalt not go up and Thou shalt not go up and down as talebearer amongst the people. Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, and thou shalt in no wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer the sins upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear the grudges against the children of the people. Thou shalt love. Sorry. Thou shalt not hate thy brothers in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbors, and not suffer the sins upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Thou shalt love thy neighbors as thyself. I am the Lord. Jewish scripture.
And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely, for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Christian scripture.
In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Mankind was but one people, and God sent prophets to announce glad tidings and to warn. And he sent down with them the book of truth, that it might decide the disputes of men. And none disputed but those to whom the book had been given. After the clear tokens had reached them, being full of mutual jealousy, and God guided those who believed to the truth of that about which, by his permission, they had disputed. For God guideth whom he pleaseth into the straight path. Islamic scripture.
O humankind, verily you are all the leaves and fruits of one tree. Ye are all one. Therefore, associate in friendship, love one another, abandon prejudices of race, Dispel forever this gloomy darkness of human ignorance. For the century of light, the sun of reality hath appeared. Now is the time for affiliation, and now is the period of unity and concord. For thousands of years ye have been contending in warfare and strife. It is enough. Now is the time for unity. Lay aside all self-purposes and know for a certainty that all men are the servants of one God, who will bind them together in love and agreement. Baha'i Scripture.
Come down and walk these roads around the city of Tehran, where 7 candles burn. Follow me, all you who claim to be possessed of charity, down to the crimson sea. 100,000 veils have covered the sun, and darkest clouds have blocked and blackened the blue sky. Did you hear the fate of those who educate, who even in the grave find no respite from hate? Have you seen the youth who gave their lives for truth? That girl who kissed the noose and welcomed all abuse. 100,000 suns have fallen to earth, with blasts that block the ears from hearing the new song. 100,000 veils have covered the truth. How many mothers' cries are lost in the tumult? No war to fight, you have no sacred right, no holy book to cite, to make these wrongs seem right. Does it so offend to want this world to mend? to walk in hope to the end and see each man a friend. Come down and walk these roads around the cities of Iran, which boast so much to man.
Thank you, Siva, for the readings and music, and thank you to the readers. And my very great pleasure now to welcome Solange Beverly Yin Lo. And Solange is an integrative life coach, wellness warrior, and shamanic and soul care practitioner, author of Manifesto. Let me just find it again. A Manifesto from an Open Heart. And it has a website, authenticconsciousliving.com.au, and can also be found on Facebook, Authentic Conscious Living. And I understand that her passion for diversity and social justice she incorporates them into her coaching practice. So my very great pleasure to ask everyone to stay muted, which you are, and after Solange has given a presentation, then we can use the reaction button to ask questions or make comments. Over to you, Solange.
Thank you. Thank you for such a beautiful beginning. Are they the usual prayers you use every week, or is that specially chosen each time?
I think Siva has got a dozen or so programs, and maybe more, and it's kind of tailored to each presentation.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I've never actually seen, as you say, as you said, there is not a forum where it's all interfaith. So it's lovely. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to try and share now. This is the big moment. Okay, here we go. At first, I'd like to actually honor you. Thank you for having me here today. Okay, so can you see it all? Or not?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I need to have the gallery, the photo. Yep. No, thank you so much for having me. It's just such an honor. I have heard so much about your group, and this is just about the time when I could come along. And so the focus and flourish and resilience and change has really been my baby for a long time. And I'll go into that in a minute, but just let's have a look what I'm hoping to do today. So firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the Indigenous traditional landowners and for the land that we stand on, and respect and acknowledge them, past, present, and emerging. So today I would really love you to be able to set your intention about what you would expect to come from this meeting and me speaking. And so I just thought we could just open with a little short meditation just to focus on your intention. And so I'll just guide you through it. So it'll just be a few minutes just to get us back into that sacred space of us being here together. So I honor that. So I just want you to, you can close your eyes, whatever you're most comfortable with. And I want you just to slowly breathe in through your nostrils and out deep down into your stomach and push out. So take another deep breath. And with that first breath through your nostrils, I want you to imagine pink light, a pink smoke going through your nostrils, through to the stomach. And as you're pushing down, you see a grey smoke of any negativity can be leaving your body. So take another deep breath. Bring in the pink beautiful pink smoke and light coming through your body right down to your stomach. And then release the smoke, the negativity, or any grey smoke out. So get a deep breath through your nostrils. Take your own time to do this. And while you're doing that, set the intention of what you see is your peace and harmony and how you see that. What does that look like for you? What does it feel like for you? No judgment on yourself. Just release taking that pink, beautiful smoke, the light, push it through to release the grey smoke. Just take a few breaths through your nostrils. And when you feel ready, just come back into the room. So I thank you for doing that. And I hope you can set your intention now. And this is what I hope will be some of the outcomes. Because it's such a short time, of course, can't expect it all to happen at once. But it sets you on the road to having a look at what those outcomes are. So I'm going to share with you, if that's okay, just some of the simple steps to have a positive and authentic life. And then to understand how our mind works a little bit too as well. And to help you uncover your purpose and move forward. So many of you, of course, are aware of your purpose, but sometimes we still need a bit of certainty and clarity around that. So hopefully tonight you will feel that opportunity has knocked on the door again and you can actually address that. So I want you to fill your things with joy that give you meaning and purpose to really feel what that might be. And this is what I feel and I practice most of the time for my life, is to focus, flow, and flourish. So thank you for that. So you're probably wondering a little bit about who I am. I was really grateful and honoured to be invited to come to your group, actually. I grew up in Sydney, and my family are from a Chinese background. My grandfather came in the gold rush in the 1890s, and he married a Chinese woman, also from the same village, but he was a lot older than her. And so they had 8 children. He died quite early, so my grandmother is a great legend. She actually brought up the 8 children herself. And they actually lived in Burwood, because I realised that was part of where someone lives. Is that right? Or was that in Melbourne?
Yeah, Siva, Perry and Vasantha, they're in Burwood.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because my grandmother's house was at Burwood. So we spent a lot of Sundays in Burwood. And so that's my Chinese background. And my father didn't speak much English, and he was in the American Air Force. And so he met my mum at my grandfather's restaurant, which was one of the first restaurants in Chinatown. And my mum says that he bought the special ingredient for spring rolls. So we carry that one. And so I guess that's really what led me to a lot of my work. I worked in the multicultural and diversity sector through community and health. I worked at Sydney, the Royal Hospital for Women and Sydney Children's Hospital. And my role was to actually train staff to be more cross-culturally sensitive and to run their programs and to have social justice and equity. And to share a story with you quickly, I actually was around, that's just tells you how long I've been around, is when Access and Equity was first made a document that people had to follow. So that was way, way back. I remember when that was launched in Canberra. So that's basically what I was. But then I had to learn a lot about myself through that journey, because I learned to be strong. I learned that I was doing this for a purpose, and that social justice for not only my family, but also for others around me, that we always need support from each other. to do that. But I belong to me and my connection to myself, because my belief is that we can not change others, but we can only change ourselves. So that's where my journey really starts to begin. So I guess I'm just asking you too is, what is it what's the benefits of change? And some people find it quite difficult to change, and sometimes we're forced to change, sometimes unwillingly, and we tend to resist. And what I have found is that the resistance is almost stronger, and that's what really is the stress, is the resistance. Do you agree that that's a high possibility? That when we're resisting, it's that tension that we build up in ourselves. But if we just learn to let go a little bit, things can flow a little bit better. So the personal growth that I think happens with the benefits of change is how we can learn new things. And sometimes we're thrown into it. I mean, I grew very, very quickly when I divorced. I had to be on my own with 3 children, and it wasn't by choice. And so you just have to have that personal growth or an attitude where you go with it or you resist. There's 2 choices. And the flexibility is to be able to adapt to those situations and have those unexpected things that come up, that even though you could plan your life, I thought I was going to be happily married forever and ever, as you do. And things just don't always happen that way. But I've also believed that it's important that we improve, so I can be the better person today as I was yesterday. So every day we can make those changes. And also our life values, what actually makes us feel important to us, because we all come from a different perspective. We have different experiences that really shape us. And sometimes we go pear-shaped and sometimes we can go smoothly for a while. But it's our values and our beliefs that really hold us to what's important to us. Then we often get that time where we're just snowballing. And I must say that the Baha'i community was one group which really helped me when I divorced. I went to a meeting with women and social justice, actually, and I met a beautiful couple that helped me through that. But it's that time where you feel they have difficulties that you really do need someone to support you, if not always. And the strength that comes from changing, it's you get lots of ups and downs, and sad things can happen. But it's like having a new attitude, that overcoming that this is what this comes for. This is the gift that we've given, to have that strength, to build on that strength. If we start on the premises that this is horrible happening to me, but the minute we can turn it around and realize that it's a gift, it can be such a different feeling, a different attitude, and different action is taken through that. And I share these from my heart in the sense that I know these work because I've tried most of them and I am aware of the changes that I've had to make. So, and change triggers progress. There's no question about that. We can move forward. Sometimes it's slow and sometimes it's fast and sometimes we can't keep up. And then sometimes you think you're going nowhere. So progress is always happening. And again, a bit like the strength is the opportunity for you to actually make this change. I always think now that I don't need a divorce to tell me that I need to grow. I can actually grow on my own and on my terms. So I think it's a great idea to have that self-awareness. What is it you want to change? And there's new beginnings with change as well. One door closes and another door opens. I would not be the person today if I had been in that marriage, probably. And my ex-husband and I are very good friends still, and we learn to appreciate each other for that. And what about a routine? It can be a bit dull after a while. So let's embrace the change. So the mind, you can see this is one of those emotions where the energy is showing how there are 2 different perspectives of the mind. So which one are you and which one do you resonates with you? Is it that you see something that can be a gift, or is it so scary and frightening for you? So why is it so hard to change, you know? And we all go through this, no matter how much I'm talking to you about change. Sometimes change still is difficult and we procrastinate. Who knows that word procrastinate? Where you think you want to do it, you talk to yourself that yes, you want to do it, but you never do it. I'm going to get around to it. You never get around. So, and also fear. Fear can come from many, many aspects in many places. And sometimes we don't even know where the fear comes from. So it takes a little bit of work. And sometimes it helps if you have someone to talk about the fear. I think the more you talk about things, it can actually help you to release things as well. So having no clarity as well and certainty, you need to be more aware of why are you feeling all these things. And the fear of the unknown, we live in, for me, I feel like we live in an illusion really, because we think because you're in maybe a regular job, you get up, you go and work every day, you think the same thing is going to happen every day, which, as you know, doesn't. And it doesn't always happen. So why are we so fearful of that unknown quantity when really we're only making an assumption that we really do know what's going to happen? And then, of course, we have the little voice on the shoulder that always keeps telling you can't, you shouldn't, why, don't do that, it's dangerous. But the inner critic is there for a reason. And so it's important to listen to the inner critic, however, but to also to manage that emotion that you feel with that inner critic, that you can take the reins of that inner critic and you can know when it is important that you listen to yourself and not the inner critic that's putting you down, telling you you're not good enough. And the self-sabotage, we're all very good at that. Oh, you shouldn't do that, you're not good enough. Why did you do that? Who are you to say that? And the shame and guilt that we carry and humiliation and sometimes the blaming others for things that happen to us. And so we need to take that responsibility. So what do you need to make that shift from that change, wanting to accept change as a good thing that helps you along? So self-realization is an expression used in Western psychology and philosophy and spirituality and in Indian religions, which I imagine some of you are probably grown up with it, which is really quite nice. I actually grew up with a lot of Confucius because my father had never gone back to China. So we were brought up very much on Confucianism. In the Western understanding of the fulfillment by oneself and the possibilities of one's character or personality. So when you blame others, you give your power away. And I learned that on my journey that we can often blame other people. In fact, I was more blaming myself. I took the guilt. I was the shameful one. I had a lot of racism. In my book that I've written, I've written stories where I have shared the racism that I experienced. Yet I was an Australian, but I never could fit into any box. There were a lot of other racial backgrounds at my school at Randwick Girls High, but I never fitted into it. So I always felt like I never had a sense of belonging, and I was always seeking and searching for that. Where do I belong? Why don't I belong? I was constantly asking myself these questions. And it was, when I was 15, I left school early because I hated school so much. I was actually almost had a nervous breakdown. I left school and I just made enough school days to get my school certificate. And through that, I had a lot of allergies. I was suffering mentally. I was physically a wreck, and at the age of 15, and it was hard going. There was not so many services around as there are now, and really you have to own up to where you are yourself before you can actually help yourself. So I did have that sort of the light bulb moment where I realized that enough was enough and I needed to do and work on myself. And so that's why I really believe that self-awareness is really the way to go. And so I've developed these simple steps myself, and I can guarantee that they work because I've practiced them, and I hope that they'll be helpful for you too as well. So my motto is to polish your gems from the inside, and we all have gems inside ourselves. We just need to stay in ourselves enough to actually recognize and acknowledge them so that we can shine on the outside. So I learned a lot when I started. I went to do holistic counseling, and I had a very profound experience by seeing in our meditation, the very first meditation, my first class. And I saw, as we went into the deep meditation, which I didn't really think I went any deeper than anybody else, but for whatever reason, I saw visions of Native American Indians all around the room, which was quite an overwhelming experience. And I found myself in tears and not knowing where or what was happening. And so from there, I was told I was best to do the shamanic and soul care practitioner. And so I've learned now how to nurture and to protect my soul and to regain and rekindle with my soul and be more powerful within myself. So a lot of people are afraid of the word power and what that really means. And I guess it's about perspectives again, how we see power. You know, do we see power as a fight, or do we see power as within us? It's a strength. For me, I see it as a strength, that it's a good thing to be always nurturing and empowering ourselves to be truly who we are and connect to our soul. Let's go back to this one. So these are the 5 steps, and you probably may even do some of them, it's particularly the mindfulness one. So just go through the self-awareness is, if you look around the room now, just this little short exercise, is see how many circles you can see around your room right at this moment. Just take a little look around yourself and see how many circles you can see, round shaped, anything round. And then you might think to yourself, goodness, I never even really noticed how many round things I had here. It's the same thing, that you can just stop for a minute and bring that self-awareness to yourself about what you see and what you pass every day and sometimes miss. So self-awareness for me is about being aware of your feelings, your emotions, your body. What is it affecting when something is triggering you? And I don't see triggers as a bad thing. I see triggers as glimmers. Triggers are glimmers. So they shine so that you can see them. Sometimes the triggers can be painful. They can be overwhelming, but they are just to let us know through our body, our mind, or how we hear it, that we need to do something about that. Or why do we have to do anything about it? What is it triggering inside me? So think of triggers as a glimmer, something good that's been like a gift. And the mindfulness may seem obvious, because I like the way that most of you probably already do a lot of mindfulness in meditation, but it's about just letting things pass and not taking on that energy of anything that comes in your way. Because sometimes people say that's why they find it hard to do mindfulness or meditation, because they can't control their mind, the monkey mind. So it's that silence is so important. Being able to be in your own space and to enjoy being in that space. And it's so sacred for me now. I remember once talking to a Tibetan monk when I was saying how alone I felt sometimes, even though I felt quite contented. I felt alone in my own space. And he pulled me up, and it's really changed my whole perspective on self-awareness, really, and mindfulness, was that we should never put down the fact that that is such a sacred space to be in, that not everybody can work on it enough to get to that. So, you know, I believe it's a really good skill and technique to always have, even if it's 5 minutes, 2 seconds a day, where you stop and be mindful and have that self-awareness about what's around you. So then I feel like the purpose. So what are we here for? Who am I? What do I want to do? So finding something that you enjoy and being able to follow your passion. And connections are really valuable. We need to interconnect with other people. People are our friends and support. And if they're not, sometimes if they are people who are gifts again, believe me, I've had many in my life, as some of you may as well, is connections don't always necessarily mean, oh, a great friendship, but most of the time they are, or you want them to be. But sometimes connections come into your life for a reason, and that's where you also gain that strength and empowerment. Now, the last one, self-care, is always the hardest one for what I've found through my clients, is that self-care and giving yourself and valuing yourself and being worthy, having self-worth, taking care of yourself, always putting other people first, accommodating, all those words that you know, where you think, or you have that guilt, oh, I can't do that for myself, or you've been brought up to think that being selfish, where it's really self-care. So take time for yourself. Again, back to the mindfulness, be aware of how much time you give to yourself. So change is hard when we keep ourselves in that same environment, when we're almost like on a treadmill. But we need to trigger that environment and to get those neutrons in our brain and body, which become hardwired if we don't do things differently sometimes. So change can be difficult, but being aware of what your fears are, why you're procrastinating, what is the uncomfortableness. We have to be in uncomfortableness to make change. And, you know, I have a lot of uncomfortable moments where I think, well, why am I feeling uncomfortable? What is it that's giving me this uncomfortable feeling? And really, once you acknowledge that uncomfortableness, it's almost gone. It's not like you have to delve deep. Sometimes you do, but sometimes it's just about going, okay, I feel that uncomfortableness. I can move on. So be aware of the uncomfortableness and face it. It's more about embracing it again. See them as gifts. So some of you who do find it hard for change, as we all do, and have moments of that. So some of the things that I found was I focused on what you could control and what I want to grow. And be grateful. Gratitude is one of the best things I find, that whenever you find yourself in that dark moment and you just think everything's the end, be grateful for every second that you can spend with the people you love, or even with yourself. That self-care. Being kind to yourself is number one. It's very hard to love someone and not be kind to yourself or love yourself. It just makes it easier when you can get through that. So life is so precious, so be grateful. I lost myself trying to please everyone else. Now I found I'm losing everyone while I'm finding myself. And that is that feeling you get, that you sometimes have to be on your own to find yourself, because we spend so many times covering our feelings, things that we think we don't want to face. But once we start to address those and embrace them, things look quite different. So begin now. You don't just wake up and become the butterfly. It's all about process. So I'm often into process rather than the end product. I think life is the process. Things come our way for a reason. We meet people for a reason. It's an empowerment of an opportunity. So it's an opportunity to change, to review, to revitalize, and then, revitalize to be who you really truly are. It's just like, for me, when I did the course of the soul care, I constantly was going to courses during the week, during the weekend, and I would just be like peeling onion skin, I just to get to the hardcore of yourself. And it's actually quite liberating. As much as you have to go through some pain, it's quite liberating. So if we don't change and we don't grow, and if we aren't really living, we're just existing. So that's the summary of the 5 steps: is self-awareness, the mindfulness, the purpose, and having connections and self-care, and you become high-flying to be your authentic self. So if you would like, this is an offer, if you don't mind me offering it, it's just a free ebook where you can actually have those free, some steps and understand that method a bit better. If you want that, you can actually send me your name and email on that number, which is my mobile number, and then I'll send the book to you through the email, if that's okay. Is that okay, Colin? Yeah, feel free to.
Yeah, of course, that's good, and we can put that in our group WhatsApp.
Fine. So it's an ebook that I'll send out to you, and it will you'll be able to then have those 5 tips ready for you and you'll find you'll go up and down with them, but that's okay. It's just a process. So I think it's just about it. So yeah, I would just like to thank you for having me, and hope it's been helpful. But polish those gems from the inside to shine on the outside. So thank you so much, Colin, for the time, and everybody here who has been listening. It's quite an interesting group. Yeah. I mean, Siva would be telling me that, but I, haven't really connected. So thank you for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Salome. Can you hang around for half an hour for questions and comments and from the participants? You don't have to go straight away, do you?
No. Go for it. I'm happy to answer anything I can.
All right. Wonderful. Okay. I just wanted to thank you very much. I enjoyed that. Everything was concepts we may have come across before, but expressed in a very fresh way. Like the expression "triggers glimmers." Well, that's brilliant. I like that. Jung and all other participants, if we use the reaction button and keep our questions and comments to the point, if possible.
Are you going to choose, Colin, who's going
to? People, I don't know if you can see, but people are raising their hands with the react button. That forms an orderly queue.
I can see you're related somewhere there.
Yeah, that's my wife. I have to be nice to her. She feeds me. Jung, over to you.
How are you, Charlene?
I'm fine. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for your talk. Thank you for your talk. It's very meaningful, and I can see you wrote something about the monk Thích Nhất Hạnh.
Oh, sorry, what was that? The last
Thích Nhất Hạnh, the Vietnamese monk.
Oh,
I saw the writing on your screen. Thích Nhất Hạnh. He's a famous Vietnamese monk.
Yes.
Yeah, he passed away last year.
Yes.
There are 2 questions I ask you quickly, and hopefully that you can catch me. Talk about resilience. And you mentioned also about certainty and clarity. And a lot of people talk about unity.
Yes.
But why do we need unity, certainty, tolerance, and clarity? Because even Jesus, when he died on the cross, he said, "Father, why you forsaken me?" So he wasn't sure why he died. he wasn't sure why people torture him and crucify him. He doesn't ask for certainty. He doesn't ask for tolerance. He doesn't ask for unity. And he in the Bible, it was written, Father, Father, why you forsaken me? Okay, so that's the question. That's the question is the nature of life. We don't ask about all these things. You talk about certainty, there's no certainty in life. You talk about clarity, no clarity in life. That's one thing. The second thing is, they talk about the semantic, and
Yep.
yeah, we talk about the drums music. If I'm not mistaken, the Hare Krishna people, they dance with the drum in the hands. And I wonder if they shamanic music. And if they are, they should be together with the opera house music, the concert. So they be like, harmony.
Yes.
Musical harmony on earth and in heaven. Okay, because for me, if I hear the drums, shamanic drums, it's more like Hare Krishna dancing on the street, and it's so beautiful. And I think all the men should be dancing, and the changes you're talking about should be made first in men and children. So we leave the women aside. So that is revolution. That is what we call paradigm shift. So if the man happy, the children happy, then life is happy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it makes your life miserable. Is that true?
Let me start with the first question about certainty and clarity. For me, I find it's certainty and clarity around myself. As much as you have your own beliefs about whether there's universe, whether it's God, whether it's Allah, whoever it is, you still need to have clarity and certainty in your mind, your feelings, your body, your soul for clarity. How do you know you want to believe in Jesus? That's your certainty and clarity. So that's how I would answer the certainty and clarity. It's not about the world out external. It's all about certainty and clarity inside, the inside.
So madam, the crucial things that people need to have is faith. Because if life doesn't have clarity or certainty, or you want a man stay with you for 100,000 years.
Yeah. So the other thing
and that won't happen unless people have faith. And they have faith through religions. They go to see Buddha, they go and pray to Jesus, and they would say that, can my man stay with me for 1,000 years?
Okay,
that's required faith.
Right, Young, that's your question and comment. So thank you for that. And so, Solan, please, anything you'd like to say at this point?
Yeah, the other thing about the shamanic is about many cultures sharing their own healing beliefs. And so that's what shamanic really means, is many cultures of how you heal. So that's how I interpret the shamanic. Shamanic, also the drumming, is based very much about the heartbeat. So I'm like Jung, I really relate to the drumming, and I do Native American drumming. And I hope to do some sessions actually on Zoom with that drumming, because I think drumming and connecting to our heart is also the sound of our mother.
So you don't think electric guitar will be close to your heart? If you play electric guitar and you play rock and roll?
I think music's powerful, extremely. I think any music is powerful, and it's again from whatever perspective you come from. Otherwise, I feel like there's a judgment. I can't say rock and roll's not good or drumming, guitar's better, because it was what we just prayed about, that the unity happens when we all allow ourselves to be truly who we are and what we feel in our bodies, not what someone else says we should be, not because we have to, but because we are who we are, and that we should learn to accept ourselves in that so that others will accept themselves and you. Does that make sense, Yung? Does anyone else want to ask?
Yeah, thank you. Rosin is next. Thank you, Yung. Rosie.
Thank you, Colleen, and thank you, Saulan, for a nice presentation. First of all, I wish to congratulate you and encourage you, not only because of the presentation, but also because about your personality. Because after I heard your introduction, I just told myself, wow, this is a warrior.
Oh, you're cute.
Bravo. Yeah.
I love what I do, actually. I absolutely love what I do because it's my journey that I just can't wait to share with others and hope that it can also make your life easier and better. You don't have to go through the hard slog I went through because there's some easier steps. I'm the person who goes through the long way. So I'm happy to share. Thank you, Rosie, for your nice, kind words.
And also because they said in general that to transform the gold in jewels, we need fire. Fire, yeah. And all the things you have passing through, and today you are here talking to us, sharing with us your experiences. That means you are really a jewel. You have something special that you have to share with the world.
Thank you.
Continue.
You're going to make me cry.
So
Thank you.
So now I have a question. So I have heard about your experiences. You have passing through very difficult time, and I'm going to ask. So how did you, or what did you use, or how did you turn yourself to the spirituality to find a way to heal yourself and to get back all those power? Because we have different way. There are people that choosing the religion, for example, by praying and so, and there are those people that can choose also, for example, yoga, meditation, or whatever, medication. So what did you especially used for to that you become today who you are?
Yeah, I think spirituality has never let me down. It's the only thing that's always there. And that has given me the strength to go on and to seek ways of connecting more to spirit, the spirit and spirit of my soul, because I could feel suffering and pain. And I believe that we are not here to feel suffering and pain. So the only thing I could do was to believe and trust myself, trust intuitively that what my gift is to bring peace and harmony. And that's what I was given, that we are here all for a reason. And that is the purpose that we need to find so that we do become our true selves. But we have to get rid of all the stuff around us that we carry, from shame, guilt, excuses, blame, whatever it looks like for you. We learn to peel. Like I said, when I was in the meditations, I would peel and go deep into myself to ask the questions, the hard questions. Why? What am I here for? What is my true purpose? How do I bring joy? How does that look? We all have a different picture and a different vision for ourselves. And that's what all that matters, is not to take your eyes off the road, focus and be in the driver's seat. We quite often sit in the back seat and we don't take responsibility. So responsibility is one really important step, and to want to dig deeper and to be comfortable with uncomfortableness. We have to be uncomfortable to get through and create and rekindle with ourselves. Does that make sense, Rosie?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Continue. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for asking that question.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Sachi.
Yeah, thank you. I like to thank Solan for that wonderful presentation today, which is actually it goes with my views also, because we are supposed to change with time, especially with the new discoveries in history, science, or something with evidences. We have to change, because we can see Jesus changed. He was not a Christian, but he became to the Christian order. Similarly, Buddha was a Hindu. He became the Buddhist ideologies, and also with Mohammed. And so many our prophets and messengers really changed their lives and beliefs. So likewise, it was a nice presentation you gave. And you said that only one thing missing for me is that we have not mentioned about our change of beliefs in reference to evidences. In fact, I changed myself with the with the evidences or the truth, or based on that. And I also wrote a book to say better late than never. That means understand this, because it was about the scientific discoveries and the historical timeline on creation and our life, because we are running very bad on peace. We are killing each other. We hate each other. So we have to tackle the people. We are all good people. We all like spirituality. We are spiritual. We are working for it. But there are so many others outside our context. They also have to change for a piece of for a global peace. So that is why I am really concerned about we change our beliefs and understanding according to the new findings. That is historically the life, the timeline has been found when the Earth started or universe started, and how the evolution happened and things like that. There are evidences. Now, I'm not trying to stress on that because I believe on that, but it is for me, it is something like a truth because it has got evidences. And at the moment with the beliefs, actually we have put labels on us. So and so is that and this and this, but inside we are safe. So simply the labels are giving us confusion and things like that. So I would like to get some word from you regarding change in beliefs with the time. Can you tell me something on that?
Yeah, values and beliefs are something that we need to unpack. I feel like it's evolving. Our values and beliefs can evolve, but sometimes we feel our values can never be changed, and so it's the mindsets for me that needs to be changed. But come back to the only thing we can change is ourselves. And if we want that global effect, that domino effect, is that we have to be aware of how we are existing and how we are playing out. Who do we show up as? If you're a good person, as you feel you are, if you continue to be good, non-judgmental, and value your beliefs. I don't know if any of you know the Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian mantra. I use that quite a bit, and I've used it more recently. And the story with the Ho'oponopono is 4 simple phrases, very, very simple. And the story is from a Hawaiian guy, learned from a Hawaiian woman. And he was a psychiatrist, and he worked at a jail, and he worked with big criminal people. And he went to the jail, never saw anybody, but he was up in his office people who worked there didn't like their jobs. They hated it. Everyone was violent, had violent anger, shame, guilt, everything, anger. And so when he got to his office, he looked at the files and said, how can I help these people? How can I make the change? So the only thing he could do was change his own mindset. So the mantra goes, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I love you, I thank you. And if you say those before any situation that you feel you can or can't cope well with, if you want a better outcome, because it's saying sorry to yourself that you're being taken away from your soul spirit. You're forgiving yourself, you're forgiving others, you love everyone, and you loving yourself, and you're thanking them. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
It's,
The way that we change our beliefs is about how we change ourselves.
yes, okay. What I am actually aiming is I want to keep one label for all of us. That is one label. We have got different labels, and we are very fanatic, or we'll say, on those things, and unable to achieve unity or peace or something like that. So if we can erase that on the basis of truth. So there may be a question, what is truth? Truth means you need evidence, and what is right. So on that basis, if we can go all on one label, that is, then we can bring or achieve something better than now, because otherwise the differences are a little giving trouble or something. Anyway, it's okay, but it's very difficult practically.
Yeah.
I know by nature also it is difficult, but still that should be, what I feel is that should be our idea, to be one, united with one label. Anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I just
very nice, and it was a useful presentation for today.
Yeah, no, thank you for your question, Sachi, and the science part of it. But I really believe that we're in a stage where we're innovative. It's now innovation time, and we all have to realize that the planet has changed and environment's changed, and so we have to move with that. And it's up to people like yourselves to show the light, to be able to move through that, to help and show the light to others. It's our responsibility to do that. Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps as I'm speaking to you.
Yes.
Because it's so important and so overwhelmingly beautiful to be in the light with you. I just feel, my heart's pulsating at the moment. I just feel
Thank you.
I'm in the right space at the right time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sachi, for the question. And thank you, Solan, for mentioning Ho'oponopono. Tracy, who just left the meeting 10 minutes ago, she gave a presentation on that, and I'm glad you reminded us.
It's very powerful. If you can believe that the prison actually closed down and the workers were all happy, there's something to it. And it doesn't take much of our energy to actually do that.
Yeah.
A little mantra. I think we're getting there.
Yeah. Now we have Ahmed and then Siva.
Yeah, hi, Solan. It was very, very beautiful and very nice. Very much aligned with the concepts of self-progress in Baha'i faith. I have one question, and that is, I'm wondering whether you have come across a small book that Baha'u'llah has written in 2 sections, Persian and Arabic, which has been translated into English, and it's called Hidden Words. I just messaged you with the URL of it. Have you seen that book?
What's the book called again?
Hidden Words of Baha'u'llah.
No, I haven't.
No, it talks about self-progress and how to live our lives. And it's got very short, small passages.
Yeah.
So about 87 in Persian and I think 72 in Arabic, but they're all translated. They're very short passages, and it just talked about what you talked, you know, all those concepts that you spoke and presented on your slide are in there. So that's the way of life. That's the way we have to live.
Thank you for that. And I haven't read that, so I'm looking forward to that. I love that when you say I'm on the right track, because that's reassuring as well.
Have a look at the message that I sent, because you told us that we can get your ebook. So I'll message you, and also I'll message you the link for this book.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you so much for your interest.
Thanks for your talk.
I got to ask you a question. Where are you with that beautiful bush behind you?
The bush is in Goulburn, and
in Goulburn.
So, but I'm in Sydney.
Oh, okay.
So I like wildlife kind of nature photos.
Ah, nice. Looks very nice and peaceful. The other thing I must just quickly say too is what I've been reading a lot lately and being connected to is how nature is so important. That we need to be connecting more to nature.
Yeah, we don't. That's the problem.
Yes. Ocean and trees.
Yeah. Hills, valleys.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ahmed. Yeah, I'm in nature. I just use this background of an office so people think I'm working.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, super.
Thank you.
Hi, Steve.
Thank you, Colin. Can you hear me? Because my voice is not.
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's good.
And first of all, happy Lunar New Year to you.
Oh, thank you. You're the snake.
Yes, you're the snake. Now, when you gave the talk, it resonated in many ways with, as a Baha'i, what we believe. You said that we had to polish the gems within us. Baha'u'llah said, regard man as a mine rich in gems of inestimable value. Education can alone cause it to reveal its treasures and enable man to benefit therefrom. So, I was surprised you on your own, independently, going through all the experience, ups and downs, you have found the golden principles, and you are sharing this without any label, as such is said. That's a wonderful thing. And many things that you said is that improving ourselves every day. We have to take account of our needs every day and to improve the future. And also, you said that when troubles comes, we have to be thankful, you said. This is what Baha'u'llah also said. Thankful in adversity.
Yes.
And he also, in the hidden words that Ahmed mentioned, what is it? The troubles that we have, I'm only paraphrasing it. The troubles we have is it's outwardly fire and vengeance, but inwardly it is mercy and kindness.
Kindness.
So I'm really surprised. I think the divinity is working within you, and you have used the right channels, right opportunities to search for yourself and transform yourself, and you are sharing with others without actually trying to make them to change, make them to look in within ourselves. So I really appreciate it. If you don't mind, can you play your Native American drum for a minute?
Oh, yeah, I could just go and get it without disturbing the dogs. I won't be a minute. Hold on.
Okay.
So I think in 2020, there were some Baha'is from Native Americans from Canada and America came to Papua New Guinea and to Sydney, and we had the bounty of meeting them and taking them to the indigenous people around Sydney and Tari and few other places. And they brought a drum. They said it's a sacred drum. And they played this in Sydney, Hyde Park, and at our home too. So I was really curious why she was interested in a Native American drum.
So this is my drum.
Okay.
This is a drum that I actually made myself. And of course, there's a story with it. I'm a slow learner, and with these strings, there's 5 of it each. However, I got to the end of it and found there were 6. My teacher said, there's 2 ways to solve it. You either leave it and it's irregular, or you fix it and it can be as perfect as you want it to be. What do you think I chose? The hard way. I undid the whole thing and I did 5 in each. I'm called Crazy Challenges, but I think challenges come for a reason. And when you do them, when you constantly have them, which I do, you go, oh, not another one. And you start to laugh at yourself. And, to be able to laugh at ourselves and not to get caught up with life so seriously. And I think dancing is a good thing, Yung. I think dancing is fabulous for loosening up. So this is what it sounds like. You can close your eyes and when you hear the faster one, it means I'm going to finish. So I'll do it for a little while and I'm going to play very loud because I can hear the dogs barking.
Sorry, it just needs to be closer to the microphone, Solen.
Is that better? No?
Can't hear it.
Can't hear it? Oh, sorry. Where's the microphone, actually? Question. And the dogs are barking even louder, so.
Yeah, you, but not the drum.
But that's, I'm not sure how else. It's good that you can tell me that it's not as loud either. So I'm not sure where the speaker is.
Yeah, well, you're loud and clear, but the drum, maybe it doesn't pick up that frequency.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear just a little bit.
And the dogs are crazy. But
still we can't hear you.
Yeah, but that's what the sound is. So you can see that is a very similar to a heartbeat, and you can play it soft and loud.
I think you have to hold it at the center of the computer, that way it goes in the corner of the microphone.
Where the green light is. Can you hear it now? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting how you can't hear the drum, actually.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
If I wanted to find the sound of it on YouTube, what would I search for?
Shamanic drumming.
Okay.
This is Native American drumming.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I actually have done it on my Facebook. So
They also on a Scotland people also play
yes, they
that
have one with a stick. They
in
have one
Scotland,
with
yeah.
a wooden stick, and they play it like that. Yeah. I've actually just bought myself a handpan, actually, which once I come in that, maybe I'll come and play for you with the handpan. But the sound is, maybe you have to get a proper microphone, actually. So I'll check that out. Thanks so much for giving me that opportunity, because it's told me that I can't do my Native American drumming on Zoom. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's a great experience actually making the drum as well. So yeah, that's a growth as well. As I said, you make mistakes, that's okay, and you actually own those mistakes. So yeah.
Happy
Well,
New Year, Solan. Happy New Year.
Same to you. Same
Thank
to
you.
you for the
Thank
celebration, and
you.
look forward to the innovation
Yeah.
and be there for that innovation and be part of the innovation. I think that's the most important thing, that we are part of the movement of innovation.
Yeah, but you see, innovation and resilience, they are all the old term of like 30 years ago. 30
Yeah.
years ago, but people have been like revise the topic so many times,
Yes.
especially the military people, because you
Oh,
know,
resilience. Yes.
yeah, in the Western Military Academy,
Yeah.
that's the two things that they had to learn. First is they want to become engineers,
Ah,
right?
right.
If you
Yeah.
become a leader and engineers in the army, then you got to know about resilience. You got
Yeah.
to know about innovation. You
Yeah.
got to know all about the new technology and everything.
Yeah.
So it's not a new concept.
Yeah, no, I think it still comes back to your own meaning. With what
Yeah,
meaning?
but people just
Yeah.
get lost on the way because they might be team up with the wrong people. Like
Yeah.
if we ourselves like clarity, but a person we team up, they don't like clarity. They want
No.
to send you to they want to send you to the unknown.
Yeah, I think clarity is about not being responsible, to be honest. Even the way you said it, Jung, is very much like, oh, that they don't want clarity. Oh yeah, I'm just going to live life that way. That's about, that's about what I'm talking about, taking responsibility for your consequences about your life, because that's where the blame model comes in. Oh, I can't help it. That's how life is. And so you start off with the wrong premise. The premise is things come to us for a reason. The other word that I think is really important to mention is the more you're aligned, the more synchronicity that happens.
Well, if you study military tactics, none of the things you require will be possible because in military tactics, if you use clarity, certainty, nothing's happening. The soldier will not benefit from these principles.
Mm. So Jung, you sound like you've had a bit of experience with military.
Well, I'm a project leader with general and people of that high ranking in military here.
Okay, I hear.
We
Yes,
dealing with communication strategy tactics.
right.
And I train students.
Okay. What
Yes,
sort of students?
so
They're the students, they're in military?
they're international students.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
you see a lot of things happening and we just can't go like not on size fit all. Just like a shirt, you can't wear one size fit all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's right. One size doesn't fit all. Yeah, that's why the certainty is your certainty. It can't be anyone else's. No one else can say to you, you'll be certain if you do that. It's only your own certainty and your own grounding. It's grounding your soul, anchoring your soul.
Yeah, but the thing that you got to keep people alive. If you are the leader, you need to keep your people alive. Alive, not dead.
Yeah. And how important is it for them to be independent, not codependent?
Yeah, but this all is confidential. We cannot discuss through this what they call radical explanation.
Yeah.
It's not good for social media.
Can we ask people who have not
Yeah. I was
commented?
looking for a quote that I wanted to read, but it was
Right. Anybody?
Yeah.
Yen?
Yeah, I think
This is one thing that might be useful, actually. I've got so many, and so I'm trying to think of the best one that I've got here, but I don't know just when we'll see each other again or what the world will be like when we do. We may both have just seen so many horrible things, but I also think of you every time I need to be reminded that there is beauty and goodness in the world. So I leave that message with you as my last message. And so thank you for today. Such an honor to be here.
thank you. Now, Rosine has a hand up, and then I have a final comment.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Colin. I just wanted to share quick something that we are blessed. We have this opportunity to as a human being to learn to discover our organs, and our Creator give us everything and in the nature inside of us, and He's repeating again and again. We just observe the nature. For example, the 4 elements: fire, the air, the water. All those elements are inside of us, and through all those elements, we are capable. We are capable to survive. We are capable to fight. We are capable to be above what we are. For example, through our brain, it's a wonderful machine. Our heart, with our heart, we can transform many things. The brain is collecting information, but we have the capacity through our spiritual knowledge to transform those information, and those information through our heart can be transformed into very powerful energy. So once we have self-knowledge and we have the spiritual knowledge to know how to focus on the positive ideas, to see the beauty of the world and the beauty inside of us, it's very possible that we can survive through any kind of difficulties. Nothing can drop us down. It's only when we turn our face to the negative side, then everything will be collapsed. But if we are in the positive, or we can make the balance between the negative and the positive together, I'm sure with our organs, we are capable to do many things, even better than the artificial intelligence or anything else, because we are the children of God. We are also creators. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Solange. My comment is that what I'm hearing from this presentation and from the comments is that despite everyone having different labels, we are all human beings, and maybe that's the label which draws a circle which includes all of us. And so the presentation you gave tonight was able to bring in labels which illustrate diversity and things we can learn and appreciate about each other. But of course, we're all human. And the example for me was I'd heard the word shamanic and shaman before, and I just thought, well, I don't know what that means. That must be a bit odd. I think probably don't like that. And now I know something, and I think, yeah, drums, American drums. I'm going to look it up on YouTube. And that's one of the things I'm getting out of this group is just learning things which I never knew. So
you never know everything, Colin.
What was that, sorry?
You never know everything.
No, exactly.
He's
Anyway.
so humble, Solange. He's very humble person.
Okay. Well, now the whole world knows I'm humble. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to thank everybody, and thank you, Solange. That was a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Solange. Happy New Year. God bless you. Thank you, Ave Maria.